Hi, everyone. It's Rabbi Jeremy, and this is the first night of Hanukkah for 2025. And so each night of Hanukkah, or really, it's kind of like afternoons, um, we'll have a little video that talks about something about Hanukkah and do a little bit of candle lighting. And some days we might use natural candles, and some days we might use an electric menorah, just sort of depending on, honestly, how my smoke detectors are behaving that day, which is a maybe odd way of thinking about it, but um, sometimes when you blow out a candle, the smoke detector goes off. So I just wanted to talk today, one, about the basics of lighting a menorah, but also what a menorah can look like. So the word menorah, the Hebrew word menorah, um, really means lamp. So it's any kind of lamp. There's a specific Hebrew word, hanukkiyah, which is used for the Hanukkah menorah, right? So um, the menorah that is described in the Torah as residing in the tabernacle or in the temple, which you've maybe even seen depicted on the Arch of Titus, which stands in Rome, um, includes a relief of the plundering of Jerusalem, and we have an example on that of a seven-branched menorah. That's what would have stood in the temple. That's what's described in the Torah. The Hanukkah, the Hanukkah menorah, has eight or nine branches, right? There's one in the middle. And so that can look a lot of different ways in modern menorahs. So this is a relatively conventional looking kind of menorah, right? We've got a center light that's a little bit elevated, and then the eight along the sides, and there's kind of a rounded look to the branches. You may have seen ones that have straight branches. Those have become popularized in part by Chabad, which uses a description of the menorah in the temple from one of Maimonides' works from the Middle Ages to key off of what their menorahs look like. And so you see many menorahs, not just Chabad ones that have straight arms that kind of go in like a triangular shape. But you might also have a menorah that looks like this. It's hard to get a good look at this without blurring the video a little bit. Oh, there we go. Um, so this is supposed to be kind of a tree shape, right? The shamash, the lighter helper lighter candle is here, and then the others go off to the side. Um, you might have one that's designed to burn oil instead of to use candles, right? So you can kind of see um, there's a spot. This is the shamash, and then there are the eight other spots. Oil, the little tab here is intended to hold a wick forward so that you can light a wick, and then that will gradually burn down through the oil. And then just knock some things over here. And then just for fun, I thought I'd show you this one. The screws are a little bit loose on it, but this is the one that we mostly lit when I was growing up. So I now have um, these nine Maccabees, because there's a Shamash, nine Maccabees in a row as the menorah, and the Hebrew on it just says Israel. So there's a lot of different kinds of lights. I keep knocking mine over, and you can see that one of the ones I have has candles in it, so that's the one that we'll use today. Um, how do I put candles in a menorah? Carefully is the answer. Um, but really, you want to do it from my perspective. From my perspective, this is right to left. So you put the candles in right to left and you light them left to right. So you're always lighting the newest one, the one that represents the newest slot for the day. So from my perspective, this is right to left and then left to right. So there's not a lot to do here, right? I'm just going to light this and light that. What do you say? So I'm not at your house. I can't tell you what to say. I can tell you lots of people use the traditional blessings. If you use traditional blessings, there's three of them. One of them is for the candles themselves. One of them is um, remarking on miracles past and present. And then the third one is only recited on the first day of Hanukkah and is the Shehechianu and just celebrates being able to get to this point. Um, we, within Machar, we really have two that we use. One is for lighting the candles, the other one is thanking prior generations for bringing us to that day. And then ordinarily we would only use that on the first night of Hanukkah, but um, it's humanistic Judaism and strict adherence to the rules is not a humanistic Jewish thing. So if you wanted to use a different one, you absolutely could. Do whatever you need to do that sits best with your values, right? That's the important part for us is where are you at and what are you saying and how does that match up with who you are? Um, we want you to believe what you say and say what you believe. So with all of that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and light our menorah for the first night of Hanukkah and use the blessings that we tend to use at Machar for this. Um, if you received this video via email, you will also have in that email, probably, if you got it from Machar's email servers, you will have a attachment or a link for the blessings that I use so that if you want to use those, you can. If you want to use traditional ones, you can. And you can find the traditional ones online. You just kind of Google Hanukkah candle blessings and you'll find them. Or my Shamash. And then remember, this is right to left, left to right from my perspective because I'm the one looking at it. So I'm going to turn this around so it's on the right side from, hopefully, from your perspective. And I'll say Machar's two blessings that we use most often. Nivarech et haor ba'olam, nivarech et haor ba'adam, nivarech et haor shel Hanukkah. Let us bless the light in the world. Let us bless the light in humanity. Let us bless the light of Hanukkah. And our Shehechianu, nivarech kol dor vador Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Let us bless each and every generation that gave us life, sustained us, and brought us to this time. And that's really all that there is to it for lighting the Hanukkah candles. Tomorrow we'll have extra candles and all of that kind of thing. Where do you put these things? So you can put this on your dining room table or your stovetop or wherever. Um, the oldest traditions that we have for lighting the menorah really kind of have the suggestion that you put the menorah in your doorway um, at the door so that people walking by on the street can see the Hanukkah candles are lit. And there's a lot of assumptions that go into why you would do this. And a lot of them have to do with, well, Jews live together. And that's not necessarily how things are. And if you live in a condo building like I do, or you live in an apartment building, or you just have persnickety neighbors, maybe you don't want to put your menorah near the doorway or in an open doorway. So instead, you can put a menorah in a window, or you can put an electric menorah in the window. There's this idea of publicizing the miracle of Hanukkah, whatever it is you think that miracle might be. But there's this idea of publicizing the miracle, Pirsum Hanes, and so a lot of people will put a menorah or Hanukkah decoration in their window. You probably don't want to put a lit menorah with candles in the window, particularly if your windows aren't well sealed. That causes a draft, all that kind of stuff. So, just wherever you think it makes sense to put it is fine. So that's pretty much the wrap up for how to light a menorah on the first night of Hanukkah. And there's other things to talk about with menorahs and other things to talk about with Hanukkah. And so um, I just want to close with a final note that as many people have learned via email or news or whatever, um, on the first night of Hanukkah in Sydney, Australia, there was an attack on a Chabad Lubavitch sponsored event with about 2,000 people for Hanukkah. And as of the news reporting that I have in front of me now, 12 people were killed. as a result of that attack. And so, one, we're obviously kind of holding those people in mind. Two, we're holding the Muslim man who intervened to stop the shooting in mind as well, because he was injured in attempting to stop this attack. We also hold in mind the idea that um, Hanukkah is ultimately about celebrating making it through hardship. By the way, we're supposed to keep pushing as we go through Hanukkah because the point of Hanukkah is things get bad and they can be improved, and they can be improved, from my perspective, by human effort to make things better. So, with that thought, close out our video for tonight, and I will see you in our video tomorrow. Chag Sameach.